Years, DRoseDaGreat, man. We're back at it with another video, and this time we're going to be talking about the best cornerback archetype in the game, specifically for your dynasty. Um, this as you guys know, there's four different archetypes. You have the zone corner, you have the bumper run, you have the boundary, and you have the field corner. Now, like I said, this is going to be specifically for dynasty, and part of the reason is we're gonna go through the attributes that they initially get as recruits, and we're gonna actually go about the abilities that they get. So we're gonna take a look at a few rosters. Matter of fact, I should just bring it up on college football GG so you guys can see the abilities, and then we're gonna go back on the game so you guys can see the actual players when we go in there. So you guys see the boundary corner. They get jammer, blanket coverage, layout, wrap up, quick jump. Bumper run, you get blanket coverage, jammer, house call, ball hawk, knockout. At the field corner, you get wrap up, robber, knockout, blanket coverage, ball hawk. Knockout, you get, I said knockout. Zone, you get knockout, layout, house call, ball hawk, bouncer, right? All right, so let's go back into the dynasty. We're gonna go through a few of these players. Let's take a look. So Appalachian State has all four actual corners on their archetypes on their roster. So we're just gonna look at it through there. But we're gonna start out at number 4. And for me personally, it's gonna be boundary corners. Now, last year I would have said this is maybe 3, just because they came in at decent speed, and for the most part you still got the same abilities. You got jammer, blanket coverage. Now, of course, the other stuff we didn't really care too much about. Like, I don't care about wrap up. As we can look through this, we can look through this player's archetype. So we don't care about wrap up. We don't care about layout as much. Layout, I mean, it could have some effect, but I never wasted any of my points there. And I just feel like that was kind of like, what was that ability in Madden where they help you dive for the ball? Dang, what's the ability? It's not lurker. There was another acrobat. So I guess it was kind of like acrobat, but that's not something that'll really activate too often. And for me, I didn't think it had much value, just because I'm like, how often is your cornerback gonna need to dive to catch a pick? It's not gonna be too often. So do I really want to spend points getting this up to maybe like a gold or platinum level? No, right? Of course, quick jump. Now, some people in their scheme, they have corners blitzing, but for me personally, I probably really blitz corners, like maybe probably not even once a game. Like last year I mixed it in. I had a few nickel blitzes, but for the most part my corners, I need them worried about their responsibility in front of them, which is the wide receiver. So quick jump doesn't really mean much for me. That's more so for the speed rushers. That's where I really care about it at. But I'm not really blitzing my corners enough to care about quick jump. Now, blanket coverage and jammer. That's what we really like. Of course, we already know man coverage is really great in this game. Like, this is probably the best man coverage has ever been in any of EA's Madden or college football's period in their history. Now, jammer, I did a test on this, honestly, because at first I was gonna downplay jammer when I was gonna before I actually started doing the video. But then I did some testing and I saw how platinum jammer reacted against a receiver, and how no, mind you, I put platinum jammer on, and I think I had a cornerback at like 95 press, and then I put the platinum jammer on him on against a receiver that probably had like 87 release, 87, 88 release or something like that, with pretty good route running. And then I kept the platinum jammer on, and then put his press all the way down to like 79 or 80. And the platinum ability of the jammer worked so good. It was like damn near placing this guy off his route almost every single time. So I gotta put some respect on jammer. They actually made it a lot better this year than it was last year. But for me personally, I'm not running man coverage enough for. That's why I said this is kind of like a preference thing. For me, this will still be either number 4 or number 3. But for me personally, as somebody who's not running a bunch of press man coverage all game, jammer is not gonna have that high of a value for me, because I'm just not playing a lot of man. So even when I do play man, like, I kind of like to mix it in. I like to play off coverage, have some type of hybrid shell behind it. So I don't want my opponent to really know what I'm in. So that's kind of why I'm saying, like, I don't really run press man coverage too often. but occasionally I might do it. But so for me, I'm having Boundary at number 4. Number 3, let's get into number 3. And we have, let's see, the zone corner. The zone corner, I do like zone corners. Oh, also, I forgot to mention, and I'm not even sure if I did mention it, but just in case I didn't, part of the reason why I have the boundary corners at number 4 is because they took a huge nerf to their speed. So if you guys, I did a bunch of tests. I probably did like 3 or 4 dummy dynasties just to see what the average 4 and 3 star boundary corner speed starts out with, and it was typically in the mid 80s. Like maybe like you might find a couple 90s, 91s, but for the most part it was like 87, 88, 85. I'm like, bro, what? I'm seeing 4-star boundary corners with 87 speed on the regular one last year. They were probably like this. They were probably like almost close to a tie for faster corners on average with zone archetypes. So, but now this year they took a huge nerf, especially for the 3 stars as well. I was doing the test. I deleted the file. I probably should have kept it so I could just pull it up or just put like a screenshot. But it was a 3-star corner with 81 speed at boundary, bro. You are not finding corners that slow last year like that, bro. You'll probably never find a 81 speed. You might find zone. I mean, obviously that was kind of an anomaly because I didn't really see an 81 speed corner at all until I seen that boundary one. But for the most part, like I said, they're starting pretty slow. So that's why I really can't get jiggy with them. Like for me personally, I don't want any corner that starts below a 90 speed, like as a recruit. And like I said, most of these boundary corners are starting below that. So you're already wasting hours recruiting that, and then you're not getting the best abilities. And then you have to probably, on average, you'll probably have to spend 80 to 100 points on quickness upgrades just to get your corner to a respectable speed to match up with some of these really fast receivers. So if you're starting out with like 86 speed and you want to at least get to a 96 speed, at the very least you have to, that's at least 100 quickness points. Or if you're starting out 88, that's at least like, bruh, come on. You gotta spend 100 just to get my corner at decent speed? No, we can't get jiggy with that. So that's a no for me. Now, like I said, we're gonna get into the zone corners. Now, zone corners, I like their abilities just a little bit more, but just like the boundary corners, when they're just not, they kind of nerf their speed a little bit. Like, obviously, they, for the ones that I've been scouting over the 3 or 4 dynasties, the zones have come in a little bit faster, just a little bit, but they're not as fast as they once were last year as well. But you'll still find a few zone corners that are coming at 94, 95 speed. I found a few of those, but I didn't find too many. I don't think I've seen not one boundary corner coming at like 95 speed. So that's why I'm giving the zone a little bit of the edge. And of course, they still have the abilities that I like for the most part. I'll take a look at them. And if you guys look on the bottom right, you have knockout, which is, it's not as good. Knockout in college is not as good as knockout is in Madden, but it still has some type of effect. Like, it really, for you to get the knockout, it has to truly be a bang bang play. Like as soon as they touch the ball, you're kind of hitting them where they're gonna drop it for the most part, right? But Madden, like if you hit it, like, let's say I have a mid zone KO, right? And you catch the ball, you take one step. If I touch you within that one step, you're dropping the ball damn near like 95% of the time, right? But in college, I feel like college is kind of like a 50-50 thing, right? So it's not as OP, but I do like the ability, especially if you have everything else around it. So, which I'm going to talk about, which ball hawk is really important. Of course, ball hawk gives you like kind of like that speed boost as soon as the ball goes into the air. Let me see if they upgraded the description on the game. I like looking at it. So Bullhawk improved breaks on passes. They don't give you like the full description. We can probably go take a look at collegefootball.gg, see if we get a better description here. So let's go to knockout first. Ultimate knockout ability and prevention of broken tackles on catch attempts by the offense, which is very important, especially with the broken tackles in this game, boy. Now let's go take a look at Ballhawk as well. Ultimate ability to break after a pass has been released. So that is the platinum level version. We really like that a lot. So if you have the Ballhawk, You already have a corner. Remember, I told you the man coverage in this game is already still kind of good, right? So let's just say you're in some sort of match defense where your safety or your corners matched on to a receiver. I'm only saying that because the safeties get the ball hawk too, as well as knockout the cover specialist. But I don't even know why I'm bringing up the safety. But I'm just saying that to say the ball hawk mixed with the knockout is a really good combination for your corner, especially if they have decent, really good man coverage. Especially consider how good man coverage in this game. So I really like that for zone. So for me personally, yeah, bouncer, it does work. But it's one of those situations where it's a zone ability. So it's not like you're playing press coverage and it slows the receiver down. They don't really have one for that. But what kind of zone coverage are you in where, let's say I have 3 corners on the field? There's no play where 3 receivers are getting bumped. Now obviously you could probably come out and cover 2, and if they're doing a streak, doing 2 outside streaks on their corners, then you might get that bump. But if they're in any type of condensed formation, if I'm talking about if the 2 wide receivers are lined up wide, then you'll get the coverage if they go deep. But other than that, if you're in some type of condensed formation, the cover 2, the clouds don't really bump any of the receivers, so you're losing. So most people in this game, they're running some sort of condensed formation, whether it's bunch, tight doubles, bunch strong nasty, bunch strong offset, trip side end will be 1 wide receiver out there. But still, even in that situation, that's only 1 wide receiver getting bumped in cover 2. Now, of course, if you run some type of cover 3, if the slot receiver runs up the field, then he'll get bumped. But then again, that's only 1 receiver getting touched and slowed down. So zone for me will come in second place just because I like the knockout and ball hawk ability. Like, ball hawk is really important to me, especially as somebody who plays a lot of zone. So yeah, we'll have zone at number 3. Last year I would have said zone is probably number 2, honestly. Let's go into the number 2 on my list, right? Let's get up out of here, right? Let's get off Burrows. Number 2 on my list. Now, this was pretty hard for me to come to the decision because last year this was easily the number 1 for me, right? And it is none other than the bump and run corner, right? So bump and run has probably some of the best abilities in the game. Personally, you got I didn't even bring up the goddamn website again. Let's bring it up from the corner. Actually, let's bring it up from here, right? So personally, they get some of the best abilities. You get blanket coverage, which I said is very important, especially with how good man coverage is in this game. Jammer, which I told you has improved a lot. House call allows you to catch picks easier. And of course, if you got it on a platinum level, you're getting unlimited stamina on the return, which is hugely important. Then you get ball hawk and knockout, 2 of the abilities that I just said were very important for the zone corner. So you're like, how is this number 2? How can this be number 2 on your list when you just said they damn near have the best abilities? Yes, now they do technically have the best abilities, right? But like I said, me personally, I don't play a lot of man coverage, so I don't play a lot of press man coverage, so the jammer is kind of like, it's a little iffy for me, right? It's a little iffy for me. And now 2, with the addition in this game of the timing based catching, which you can have on both offense and which you can have on offense and defense, I don't feel like house call is as important, right? Like, me personally, if you time your catch, you're catching a pick. Now, we all know back in the past, just in Madden and college, catching picks wasn't the easiest thing. But now, if you have good timing, you'll catch the picks regardless, especially if it's uncontested. Like, you shouldn't be dropping any uncontested picks with timing based catching if you're somewhat decent at it, right? So that kind of limits house call for me, which was desperately important for me last year. Like, I kind of had to get that on all my corners for the most part. But like I said, they still get ball hawk and knockout and blanket coverage, which is probably 3 of the most important abilities for me now. So you're like, why do you have them number 2? Now I'm gonna tell you, Part of the reason why I have them number 2, we're gonna get into why because obviously we have field corners as the number 1, but they kind of leveled the playing field. So last year, field corners used to come in pretty slow. They used to be I think they used to be on average the slowest archetype between all the corner archetypes. I know for sure zone, bump around was faster, and boundaries was faster as well. Like you'll on a rare occasion you'll find you'll probably get it like a 90, 91 speed field corner, but for the most part they came in as slow as the boundary corners do this year, right? So that's part of the reason. Like we'll go through a list, and I have this pulled up just for you guys. So we're gonna show you because it's clear the field corners are number 1. So we'll go through their build, we'll go through their abilities right after we get through this. So let's take a look. Right, these are all 4 stars. I didn't do any 5 stars. I left 5 stars out because for the most part, if you're in an online competitive league, you're not really like, we all know the 5 stars are pretty darn good. Like the difference for me is what the 4 stars and 3 stars, because these are the more realistic options, especially if you don't have a team like Bama or Ohio State, LSU or something like that. These are more realistic, right? So let's take a look at the bump and run corner. Let's see the average speed. So these are none but 4 stars and 3 stars. When I get to 3 stars, I'll say it. 94 speed. This is 4 star. 87. 97, which is pretty high. You probably won't find field corners as fast as 97, but on average they'll be just as fast as bump and run. So 97, 90, another 4 star, 95. Now we get to the 3 stars. This is what it drop off. Last year 3 stars used to still be pretty fast. 88, 89, 88, 85. Look at this for bump and run. 80. This is 3 stars, by the way. 90, 85, 88, and we get 92. We found a gem at 92. So the next group will be the field corners, right? So remember I told you, on average, they have caught up. So now we're about to get into the field corners, which I like, and we're gonna talk about their abilities as well. So now let's go to the next one. 91. This is a 4-star field archetype, right? 91 speed, 4 stars. 96. We done caught up. 90. 87, 96. So we're finding the guys who they're not as slow no more. 86. This is 3 stars now. 92. Last year, you're not finding no 92 speed field corner as a 3 star, bro. You're not really finding those. Back to back, 92, 87, 86. So you still got a few slow ones. 94. We're finding 94 speed at 3 star. Last year you weren't finding this. 94. 96 speed as a field corner 3 star. 94, and then we got 91, right? So we're also going to get into the abilities, of course, which I really like personally. And so let's take a look at the corner. They get wrap up, robber, knockout, blanket coverage, bullhawk. So for the most part, they get the 3 main abilities that I said I liked with the bump and run, but now they got a boost in speed. So obviously I told you guys I don't really care for house call and jammer as much, but we get robber, which is a really important ability, and this we get ultimate movement and zone cover. So these are pretty much helping you like flip your hips and stay lockstep in with with the receivers, right? So if you got platinum, this can like you're like, all right, if, let's say, because for me personally, I run a lot of I'll say I probably run about 35% match, maybe 35%. Yeah, 30 to 35% match. So it's still some sort of zone and man cover. So we kind of need these guys to be lockstep and with their receivers at all times. So if a guy comes into your zone, I need you to be able to match that quickly. And especially now we got the plaster ability in the game. These guys will definitely attach quicker. And I kind of need these guys to be able to move and flip their hips quickly for any type of really good route running receiver. So robbers is super important for me. Now, of course, this is definitely important at linebacker and safety as well. But for me, corners, I definitely would love this. Now, if they made field corners as fast as they are last year, this would have probably been arguably my number. This would have probably been number 2 last year for me. Would have been, I don't know. I might have had a number 1 because I still didn't play man coverage last year a lot either. But Or straight up man. I didn't play much straight up man. So for me, like I said, the field corners are number one specifically for this reason. The robber is what separates it for me, especially with the addition of time-based catching, where I don't need house call as much. So let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section below. We're gonna head up out of here on that note. This video has already dragged on long enough. And like I said, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, do all that good stuff, man. Let's run it up. More Dynasty content coming soon. I think I might do a safety. Video next, but also too, I have a video coming soon on how to build the best corner too. This is just what me telling you what the best archetypes are, but I'm gonna show you guys another. I'm gonna show you a little secret that I've been working on to build the best corner, and that's coming soon. So, like I said, we're out of here, man. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. I'm out. Peace.